Hello, Virgo, and welcome to my channel, Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be 11 relationships reading for the end of February 2023, looking at you and the person that you are connected to that you are needing to learn the most from right now. We're looking at all three sides of the connection. So we've got your energy toward the connection, their energy toward the connection, and kind of this unbiased higher level truth here. The idea is that there are three sides to every story. So looking at your version of the truth, their version of the truth, and kind of that higher level unbiased truth here in the middle. I do encourage you in these readings to, to look outside the box. Don't just look at it as in terms of a romantic connection. This could be a friend, a family member, a coworker, anyone that you're dealing with and are feeling reactive to at this time. This reading could be giving you insight into that. I think that's all. I'm using a different tarot deck for all three sides, so got a lot to go through today. All right, Virgo, on your side of the connection, you have a new start is coming with authentic expression. This has a lot to do with feeling safe to express your needs, your desires, your vulnerability, whatever the case is in relationships, in particular, this specific connection. Now, I feel like the way that you have gotten to this point of being able to authentically express your feelings, your desires, whatever the case is, I feel like it's been a long road. Like, I feel like it's been a road of a lot of spiritual cleansing. The overall energy for this reading is spiritual cleansing with transformation. So this connection is either pushing you to transform, or there's a transformation that's happening within that's going to allow this connection to come together in a healthy way. I'm not exactly sure which one's the case, and it might just kind of be both. It just depends on your situation. But either way, I see that this has been a very transformative time for you in particular. Now, this person, please remember also that these energies can be swapped. So if you end up resonating more with the energy over here than over here, that's totally normal. But this person has kindness with don't let pride get in your way. So this person has a little bit of an issue with their ego. And I feel like their ego has a tendency to get in the way of their ability to express things from a place of love, from a place of kindness. They probably have a tendency to see things through the lens of their fear first. And if they, haven't done the healing, then often probably get reactive to that perception that they have. The truth of this connection, you have believe in the impossible with transcendence. What you're wanting in this connection is absolutely possible. However, there is a need to transcend the circumstances, because I feel like the circumstances within themselves have a tendency to getting you lost in the purpose of this connection, because the purpose of this connection is some sort of spiritual transformation. Now, that doesn't mean that the connection itself doesn't have the potential to come together in a healthy way. It just means that there's some sort of transformation that needs to happen first before that's the case. But we are going to start, Virgo, with looking at your side of this connection. This is going to be Virgo's side of the connection to the person they are dealing with. This is a new start is coming with authentic expression. This is Virgo's side of this connection to the person they are dealing with. This is Virgo's side of the connection, please. Ooh, Virgo, you're coming out as the Empress here. You're dealing with some defensiveness when it comes to this connection. I feel like you might have a tendency, which makes sense, because there is this need to be a little bit more authentic in your expression, to be a little bit more authentic in the way that you approach your communication, and essentially vulnerability, because I feel like there's a little bit of fear of vulnerability. I want clarity on this Empress message, though. Okay, yeah. The Four of Wands in reverse with the Ten of Wands. There's some sort of burden you've been carrying. And you've been carrying around this burden for a while. Now, I don't know if it's burden of past connections or what, but there's some level of you that feels that you are not able to be vulnerable without, like, every time you've been vulnerable, you've experienced not so great outcomes. So I feel like this is almost a fight with your inner self about vulnerability and coming out like of your shell almost. And I don't like, this could be with connections that you've had your whole life. Even like, I feel like there's a level of you that hides like a part of you potentially, because you feel it's necessary, or that you fear judgment, or you fear you're going to be too much, or you fear like you hold yourself back. And I feel like there's a level of like that aspect of you that has actually affected your ability to build and maintain healthy relationships that are both good for you and the other person. Not that you haven't had any healthy relationships, but like in terms of like it's affected those relationships. Virgo's side of the connection to the person they are dealing with. Virgo's side of the connection to the person they are dealing with. Because you're showing up as the Empress, and there's the Judgment with the 10 of Pentacles here. So you're showing up in a very like your energy is very healed. Honestly, like I feel like there's a part of you who you dove into healing. You maybe even have experienced the spiritual transformation. And now it's about like being the person that you've spent so much time trying to become, and not being afraid to be that person in your closest relationships. Now, there could be this fear of, well, what if this person doesn't like who I am now? Or what if they have a problem with it or something? And that's almost like where, like when you're your most authentic self and you're able to be your most authentic self, you attract the people that align with your most authentic self, that align with your soul. But you also find yourself weaving out the people that don't align with your most authentic self. And sometimes that can feel scary because it feels like rejection, but it's not rejection of who you are. It's oftentimes people actually rejecting themselves through you in a way. I'm not sure how that plays into this reading yet, but with this Judgment and the Empress card, it just feels like you're kind of able to see things pretty clear when it comes to not just this connection, but your relationships with people in general. Like, I feel like you're kind of done with the beating around the bush in connections kind of thing. But now it's about stepping into the version of yourself that you have spent so much time becoming. Okay, Virgo's side of this connection to the person they are dealing with, because this person struggles with kindness, I feel like. They just struggle with their ego a little bit. Yeah, okay. So, oh goodness, okay. You've experienced a lot of, I feel like a lot of rejection. Like, and not necessarily in terms of like relationships, but maybe people making you feel small, or people saying like, oh, like saying you're too much, or whatever the case is. And when it comes to this connection in general, it feels like this connection triggers that part of you. I'm not exactly sure. I mean, we don't know this person's energy yet. I do feel like this person struggles with ego. But with this belief in the impossible and transcendence, it's almost like this connection is possible, but it's got to come with some sort of spiritual. There's a need to transcend the circumstances, to dive in deeper to what's going on. Because I feel like okay, I want clarity on this message, because this to me feels like truth of the connection between Virgo and the person they are dealing with. Like, this feels like you holding back from just being, quite honestly, just honest. Yeah, okay. Like, quite honestly, being honest. It just feels like you're holding back from expressing yourself to this person in a way that you want to, or that needs to be done, or that, like, I don't know. It just feels like there's a level of holding back. I guess that's a good way of saying that. Now, you might be doing that to protect yourself because this individual has created a reason for you to protect yourself. But there also feels like there's this energy, the Six of Cups and the Lovers in reverse. There's this energy of not feeling, like not seeing your value in relationships because of past relationships you've had. So there's this level of not seeing your value. So it's almost like you hold back because you fear that this person in particular is going to reject who you truly are. And if they do, it's kind of like, well, that's good news, because that is a sign from the universe that this person isn't deserving of you, because you've gone through a transformation. I don't feel like this person has. And therefore, I don't feel like I haven't dove into their energy yet, but I don't feel like they even truly really deserve to have you in their life. Without, like, you don't have anything to prove to them, is essentially what I'm getting at. And I feel like there's a level of you that feels like you do have something to prove to them. Clarifying Virgo's side of the connection. Interesting. Virgo's side of the connection to this person, please, because you're the Empress here, whether you're male or female. Virgo's side of the connection to this person. But it's like, I feel like there's this, they don't see my value. And it's like, and that makes you feel, and it pokes at your feeling of not being good enough. But there's that level of like, well, if they don't see your value, then that's their problem, right? Like that has nothing to do with you. Because Virgo, you're pretty dang stable right now. Like you're very and you've worked really hard to get here too. I want clarity on this Queen of Pentacles, because this is you. I mean, you're showing up as the Empress and the Queen of Pentacles. Hang on. I didn't set the intention yet. Clarifying the Queen of Pentacles and Virgo's side of the connection. See, you have a lot to give in relationships. And it's about making sure that you're giving to the people that deserve what you have to give. Because I feel like there's this level of like, I mean, you see this connection as, I mean, there's a lot of love here. You do have a lot of love for this person. But I almost feel, to be quite honest with you, that you're putting this person on a bit of a pedestal. Granted, I haven't, we haven't looked into their energy yet, but that's just what I'm feeling. And it's almost like you feel like this person needs to value you in order for you to feel valued. But the thing is, you have worked really hard to become this person, to become this Empress, to become this Queen of Pentacles. You worked really, really hard. You've gone through a spiritual transformation. You have a new start coming. It's about realizing that the people that deserve to have you will see your value. And people that don't see your value, that has nothing to do with you. In fact, that has everything to do with them. And ultimately, when people, when we are our most authentic self, we tend to trigger the people who have a really hard time being their most authentic self. And oftentimes we trigger, people having to look at aspects of themselves that they aren't really that proud of. And so the judgment, if anyone has judgment towards you for being authentic, that's them judging themselves through you. That's not them. I mean, everyone's a mirror for us, right? That has nothing to do with you. And I feel like this is about realizing that specifically when it comes to this person, their opinion of you, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Now, if you have a lot of love for this person, then it feels like it should matter. Because you're like, well, I accept them for who they are. Yeah, because you've healed. And you can see the good in them that is being reflected back at you. If they haven't healed, they're going to see their triggered version in you. I feel like I'm not trying to talk down on this person. Again, we haven't looked at their energy yet. Virgo's side of this connection. Because you view this connection as your 10 of Cups. This could be a classic case of just like not telling someone how you feel. I don't necessarily feel like that's the case. It could be. Let me clarify this 10 of Cups. Let me see what this 10 of Cups has to say. What if Ace of Cups? Is that what that is? Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's the Ace of Cups in reverse. So, I mean, there's some emotional, like, repression going on your side, too. Because here's the thing. This is this burden you've been carrying around. It's your lack of confidence. It's your lack of confidence, of stepping into your most authentic self, of being fully vulnerable. I cannot stress this enough. You know, I have struggled my whole life with caring about other people's opinions of me. And when I started my healing journey, it actually was very frustrating to me that I still struggled with other people's opinions of me, because you can know this all day long, right? You can know, yeah, other people's opinions of me don't really matter. It's just a reflection of them. It's not me. But it's hard to really truly internalize that, especially when our society these days is so about the likes and other people's opinions of us and what other people think of our life and the follower count and whatever the case is. It's almost like it's ingrained in us, where it's almost like other people's opinions of you is the only thing that matters. And so that has been an aspect of myself that I have worked really, really hard to unlearn and retrain with. My authentic self will attract authentic connections. And I've just kind of recently, probably in the past 6 months or so, stepped into my power in that sense, and being able to say, okay, the people that don't agree with who I am as a person don't belong in my life. And that's hard. It's a hard pill to swallow, because I've lost a lot of friendships. I've lost a lot of connections. Some dynamics have changed in, relationships that I used to be really close to. But I've also attracted relationships that I've never had the blessing to experience before until now, that align with my soul, not with this need for validation. Now, I'm not saying that you have a need for validation, but there is a level of looking for this person in particular to validate who you are as a person, and to see your value. Like, your value, but it's very frustrating to you that this person doesn't see your value, because you're like, well, why don't they see my value? Well, because they don't see their own value. So they're not going to see your value if they don't see their own value. And that's just not your problem, to be quite honest. And so vulnerability and communication, authentic expression, being your most authentic self, especially in this connection, is kind of going to be a pretty big healing, almost like healing, not necessarily a cycle, but more just like healing a part of you that has always kind of ran from being your most authentic self. This is Virgo's side of the connection. Virgo's side of the connection. Because here's the thing, the universe is saying you're not listening to the signs, that there's an opportunity out there for you. Now, I don't know if that's with this connection or not. And I really feel like it's going to depend on, let me clarify this Page of Pentacles, on your personal situation. Like, I don't know if this opportunity exists in this connection, or if it exists outside of this connection. But this connection in particular, there's this lesson that needs to be learned before this opportunity can strike itself. Before this opportunity can, what was I going for there? Can appear. There's attachment to this connection. And which makes plenty of sense, because that's why there's this, like, I need this person. I like this getting upset that this person doesn't see your value. Like, I really do get that. But it's almost like realizing that it's kind of, you got to get to a point where you're like, honestly, so what? Now, let's dive into their energy before I keep talking the way I am. All right, this is Virgo's person, the person that Virgo's dealing with, side of the connection to Virgo. The person that Virgo is dealing with, side of the connection to Virgo, please. This is the person that Virgo is dealing with, side of the connection to Virgo. person Virgo is dealing with, side of the connection to Virgo. This person is giving you direct insight into your relationship with yourself. Because there's the Emperor and the Empress. So this person, yeah, woo, okay. I mean, it's no coincidence, right, that the Empress was the first card to come out for you, and then the first, message to come out for them too. So that's why. That's okay. So that's why you're looking to this person to see your value, because you're looking to be confident in your own value. Remember, we often look outside of us for what we are looking for within ourselves. Now, I want to clarify this Four of Wands in reverse, because this person struggles clarifying the Four of Wands in reverse. The person that Virgo's dealing with side of connection. The Judgment. Look at that. Oh my gosh. The same Judgment as your second message. So this is, first and foremost, you trigger the heck out of this person. Second of all, the mirroring in this connection is crazy. This person, they avoid the way that they feel about this. Because again, if they're triggering stuff in you, this straight up is a mirror connect. This is your mirror. And when that's the case, you have to look at, how is this person triggering me? What am I reactive to? What does this person do that makes me mad, that frustrates me, that whatever the case is? Because what that's doing is that is giving you direct insight to your relationship with yourself. Okay, the person that Virgo's dealing with, side of the connection to Virgo, please. The person that Virgo is dealing with, side of the connection to Virgo. The 10 of what? That's crazy. We've seen all of this energy. This is because they carry a very similar burden to you in connections. There's the Knight of Cups in reverse that this connection triggers. What is this 10 of Wands? What is this burden that the person Virgo's dealing with or it's a karmic burden. It's a karmic cycle. There is a karmic cycle that exists in between this connection. That's this transcendence. Because before this connection can come together in a healthy way, there's a spiritual transformation that has to take place. Now, when I say come together in a healthy way, that doesn't mean that you guys are necessarily apart right now. It just means like before there's balance, I guess, in the connection. Because this burden, it exists on both of your sides. It's something that, it's a blockage almost. It's a blockage that both of you carry. And so that's why you might be like, oh, this person needs to heal their burden. You've done a lot of healing. You absolutely have, but there's still a level of needing to find this sense of self-worth where you say, whoever doesn't align with my self-worth, whoever doesn't see my value, it's not that I'm not valued, it's that I'm looking for my value in the wrong people. Now, I'm not saying that's the case. I'm explaining what the lesson on your side is. This is the person that Virgo is dealing with, side of the connection of Virgo. The person that Virgo is dealing with, side of the connection. The Page of Swords. So this person struggles with communication. They overthink pretty much every word they say, I feel like. And I honestly feel like that's the same for you. That's why you have this authentic expression, is because you might speak from a place of like, what do they want to hear from me, instead of like a what do I want to say, what am I needing, like not like a like what, how can I get like how do I say this, because they're focused more on, it's like controlled communication. like overthinking communication often means that it's not coming from an authentic place. So it comes from a place of, what do I want them to hear instead of what do I want to say? I feel like that's ultimately what I'm trying to say there. I also feel, I don't usually like saying this in these readings, but if this connection is someone that isn't currently in your life, I do feel like there's a little bit of spying going on. The person that Virgo's dealing with side of the connection to Virgo. Woo! This person lives to please their ego. They have the King of Pentacles in reverse, so they are focused way more on fulfilling their ego instead of fulfilling their soul. Because with the King of Pentacles in reverse, that's they care more about, I feel like we're all given a birth based on our society or our parents, whoever. We're given a checklist, and it's like, these are the checklists of things that you need to do in your life. And for me, it was like, graduate high school, go to college, get a good degree, get a good job, find your significant other, get married, have kids, blah blah blah. You work till you retire. And it was like, that was like the checklist that I was given. This person's focused on that checklist. They're not focused on how to fulfill their soul. I feel like you have been going through a spiritual transformation. That is, you are needing to focus, or you're wanting to focus more on how to fulfill yourself emotionally, spiritually. This person's focused on, how do I reach my material goals? And I feel like that is a big clash between the two of you. I want to clarify this kindness card. The don't let pride get in your way with kindness. What is that? What does that have to say? What is that trying to say about this person? Because I don't feel like, it's not that this person isn't kind. It's almost like they have this energy. Yeah. Okay. They have this energy of viewing kindness as a weakness. And with the Seven of Cups in reverse, it's almost like once they make up their mind about something, their pride doesn't allow them to see past their pride. So it's like they don't want to be wrong. And I feel like, so that's the biggest issue with their communication, is they come from a place of, how can I prove myself right? How can I prove that I'm right? Or how can I prove that I'm better? Or I don't know, like, how can I, and it both trying to prove to yourself, right? Because if they're trying to prove something to you, they're ultimately trying to prove it to yourself. And there's a level of you trying to prove your value to them. And your value is, it does not need to be proved to anybody. This is the person that Virgo is dealing with, side of the connection to Virgo, please. Ooh. Very disappointed with how this connection has turned out. Is going, possibly. But wow, I don't think they would ever tell you that. There's the Five of Swords and the Tower, and then the Four of Pentacles in reverse. I don't think they would ever tell you that. I want to clarify this, because this is falling underneath this burden. Clarifying the Five of Cups for the person Virgo's dealing with, side of the connection, because they're kind of sad right now. The Knight of Pentacles with the Queen of Cups here, and then the Two of Cups. It's almost like you're wanting them, I feel like, to communicate their feelings to you. I don't even think they have the ability to be honest with themselves, because again, it goes back to this, like, pride gets in their way. And it's almost like, well, I made up my mind, or I made a certain action, like doubling down on something that they don't even really believe. Like, this person's pride is really getting in the way of their side of this connection. This is clarifying the person Virgo's dealing with, side of the connection of Virgo. There's the Two of Pentacles. Ooh, they want this to come together. They want balance. I said that. I said they want balance, or there needs to be, like, in order for there to be balance in this connection, they want balance. That Two of Pentacles and the Three of Cups, it's almost like they want things to be better than they are. But I also feel at the same time, they're not really going to do anything about it. And it's not your job to have them do anything about it. So understand that this person's actions or lack of words or whatever the case is, it has nothing to do with you. Their pride is getting in the way of their ability to express themselves. Okay, I will take this one. Their ability to express themselves from a balanced place, because they often allow their pride to get in the way, because this kindness, like, it feels like this, like, viewing kindness as a weakness, or they will seem weak if they're honest or emotionally vulnerable or whatever the case is. And honestly, I feel like that vulnerability, that lack of vulnerability, the reason it triggers you so much is because there's a level of you that fears vulnerability as well. That fears that your most authentic self isn't going to be fully accepted, which it will be by the right people. All right, Virgo, we're going to hop on over to the extended. We have Believe in the Impossible of Transcendence. We're going to get that truth of the connection, if you will. Any information on that is in the description box below, as well as any information on booking a personal reading with me. Thank you guys so much, as always, for the support of my channel. It means the absolute world to me. I hope that this reading resonated and helped you in a way that you were looking for today, and I wish you absolutely nothing but love and healing on your journey. Bye, Virgo.